all the young people who have made a choice to be here today. This is your moment. This is your time. Events like these are rare opportunities to learn directly from leaders who have walked the path that you're starting on. Their stories are a gift to you. Their experience is a gift that they have given you. Because they're basically telling you that you don't have to walk this path or take this long to be able to get to that moonshot that you have defined in your mind. So I invite you, as you sit in this room today, and even after you leave, to be curious. It is Steve Jobs who said that famous statement, stay young, stay foolish. What does that mean? When you stay foolish, you're willing to be curious, you're willing to raise your hand, you're willing to increase your agility to learn new things, you're willing to be resilient because you understand that even as you draw these plans, there are many challenges that are with you today. But you're looking to learn from the people who will come before you to figure out how do you adapt to them and make yourself agile, because that is what will define your success. I invite you to build networks. Do an audit of your network and which circles you're in, and not just physical circles, but also digital circles. The amount of time that you spend on digital platforms, social media, is it for entertainment? Entertainment is good. But how much of that is for education? How do you educate yourself? My son and my daughter nowadays, when I ask them anything, they go to TikTok. But they go to TikTok because they find entertainment there, but they're also learning. So what are you learning every day? Every day make some time and ask yourself, can I give myself 15 minutes to learn something new about my business, about how I lead, about how I stay resilient, about how I keep winning? And then finally, act with purpose. Because ultimately the people who focus on solving real problems and creating value for their communities, that goes beyond just thinking about the profit that they generate. Those are the people who will be remembered and who will create a true legacy. To the organizers, the partners, and especially the young people here today, thank you for being part of this great journey that the Private Sector Foundation has started. I love the title Nextgen. We are creating a next generation with the people who are in this room. At MTN, we believe in an unstoppable Uganda that is powered by the brain power that is in this room, by the young minds that are in this room, and the support of all the partners who are here. And we thank you for your support every step of the way. So over to you. You're writing your book of life. Many of the chapters remain unwritten, but I hope some of the nuggets that you'll pick up from today will help you pick up your pen and choose the words that will script the ultimate book of your life when we get to read it. I hope it will be impactful. I hope it will be memorable. And I can't wait to hear the personal stories that are created out of today. God bless you all. Together we remain unstoppable.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sylvia Molinge, CEO of MTN Uganda. You said you didn't come here as a speaker, but you came here as MTN, and yet you have unleashed on us such wisdom. What I took away from this, live in the future, build backwards, you know. And for MTN, this is not just lip service, it is their philosophy. You've seen the programs they're doing. And so we are thankful. Thank you so much, MTN, for what you do for this country, but also particularly for this event. We are really grateful. I want to take the opportunity to also recognize our board members who are also in the room. We have with us of course, you've met our chairman, Mr. Humphrey Nzei, the vice chair, Ms. Sarah Kajingo. Please, a round of applause for my board members. We also have with us Mr. Daniel Kaziwe, also known as Ragadi. We have Mr. Badron Tege. Thank you as well. They've been really hands-on in helping us get this off the ground. So thank you so much for your leadership. In the room, we also have UNDP. They have supported quite a few young people to be in this room here today. So UNDP, again, thank you so much for that. And so now it's time for our next speaker, who has over 26 years of experience in banking. That's way longer than some of us have been alive, with strong business leadership, success in turning around businesses, increasing profitability. These are things that during our engagement earlier, we had quite a few of you pointing out as areas of your interest here today. So you have to listen well. Prior to joining the bank, that's DFCU Bank, he had a 20-year journey at Standard Bank Group as CEO of Stanbic Bank Kenya, CEO of Stanbic Bank Zambia, CEO of Standard Bank Malawi, Director of Mass Markets at Standard Bank South Africa, amongst other roles. He has previously served on the boards of some of Stanbic Bank Zambia and Kenya, Standard Bank Malawi, Standard Bank Insurance Brokers of South Africa, Edulon Limited South Africa, and Agribank Zimbabwe. He's the past founding chairman of Liberty Insurance Company, that's in Zambia, and the past chairman of Bankers Association of Zambia. So he knows a thing or two about money. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mr. Charles Mudiwa, Managing Director and CEO of DFCU Bank, Uganda.
Oh, Uganda, let's lift up one another. The future looks so bright, we'll celebrate it together.
With 60 years heritage, DFCU Bank is partnering with you on your journey to achieving even greater heights. DFCU, going further together.
Good morning, how are we doing? We okay? At the back, can we hear you? You good? Great. It's lovely and wonderful to see all of you here today and just coming to join us to have this conversation. All protocols observed. PSFU for and as my good friend Sylvia has highlighted, for believing in you. Many of us grow up with very few people who believe in us. And it's a wonderful experience and a wonderful opportunity when you actually get some people who believe in you. Not just believe in you, but take action in so doing. And so, my good friend Stephen, our Haji Stephen, I'll call you for that today. Thank you for, and the board, Humphrey, and the rest of the directors, and MTN for believing in young people. When you get a whole group of CEOs who have big companies they are running, taking time to come and sit here and share their stories with you, but more importantly, listen to your story. That says a lot. That's commitment. That's belief. I'm just going to share a few kind of stories about entrepreneurship and what it means for us. You can move next one. The first thing that I want to talk about today is, you know, there's a musician called Anton Hamilton. Anyone ever heard of him? Clearly, I'm in the different generation. Wrong generation. Okay, he's an R&B musician. And he's American. And I was chatting to him the other time, and I asked him, okay, how did you become successful? And he said to me, you know, I learned two things in life. The first thing that I learned was that there's a difference between passion and business. And he said, I had a passion for music. I loved music. I could create music. But I learned something, that having a passion alone does not make me money. I understood that the day I got to understand the difference between the passion for music and the business of music, I started to make money. A lot of us as young people, we have a passion. I heard some young lady talk about how she loves hospitality and everything else. We have the passion, the zeal and the enthusiasm. But until you understand the business of hospitality, you will not make money. Okay. So let's be very clear. I have a passion. I love something. How do you make money out of your passion? Do you know how to make money out of your passion? Because you can be passionate about it, but the passion does not pay the bills. Money does. Are we clear? Look at this slide. This is what Uganda sells to Kenya and imports from Kenya. What does Uganda buy from Kenya? Cement, palm oil, refined petroleum, coated roplats. But what does Uganda sell to Kenya? Sugar, milk, electricity, ceramics, plywood. This is business. Are you supplying any of those? We complain about opportunity. Opportunity is looking right there at you. Tanzania is Uganda's largest trading partner in the region. See what Uganda is importing from Tanzania. Rice. Guys, we have Lake Victoria full of water. We have 165 lakes in this country. You drive from here to Masaka, you are driving in a swamp which can grow rice. See, 40% of Tanzania exports to Uganda is rice. We're talking about opportunities. Here is the opportunity. Why are we not growing rice? I heard people looking for a job here. There's a job, grow rice. Corn. Surely we can grow corn. Frozen vegetables. Are you failing to grow vegetables and freeze them? Ground nuts. Surely. G-nuts. That's opportunity. So for us as young people, we say, what do we need to say? Then of course of the iron. But we're also selling a lot of iron to Uganda, to Tanzania. Raw sugar, we're selling raw sugar to Tanzania. Those are opportunities that we have that we can do that. Can you even imagine we're exporting hair products to Tanzania? So I can see a few long hair here, because there's opportunity too. South Sudan, can you imagine? 75% of our imports from South Sudan is scrap metal, which we are using it. You saw we're selling roller bars to Tanzania. We get the scrap metal, we roll it up and sell it. So if we did scrap metal business here, you have huge opportunity. We don't even have enough. We're importing from South Sudan. But we're selling again sugar, flavored water, wheat, cereals, palm oil, cement, soap. and of course we're also importing a lot of glass bottles from South Sudan. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, it's recognizing an opportunity, seeing it, and getting into it. Rwanda, we're selling corn, but we're importing pasta from Rwanda. There's an opportunity again to sell. Why can't we make a pasta factory? That's business. We're selling dried fish, plywood, small containers. We're importing palm oil, cotton fabrics. What I found interesting was large construction vehicles and cranes from Rwanda. I thought that's very interesting. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Thanks. Okay. The next part that I want to talk about is something that's important. There's a word, and I know a lot of you are young people here, you just come from university, so English is probably a very good thing, you're still very fresh. They call it strategic intent. As a country, we have to think about what is your strategic intent as an individual. Now, if you look at Kenya, the strategic intent of Kenya is very clear. Technology, technology, technology. They even call it Silicon Savannah. A lot of work is invested in technology. Skills are built for technology. I mean, whether you talk about Safaricom or any other company there, it's a lot about technology. In fact, there's so much technology that even the Americans, when they're appointing an ambassador, who did they appoint? Meg Whitman. What does Meg Whitman, CEO of eBay, former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, from technology? Tanzania is logistics. They've hired the best in the world to do the Dubai ports, to run Mombasa Dar port. They're building an SGR train. You can see the strategic intent is very clear. Rwanda, logistics, they're building probably one of the biggest airports in the world. They want to create connectivity. It's very clear. Now the question I have, what is Uganda's strategic intent? Where do we want to play? Now, we have a number of areas that are important for us. So we could say we can play in natural resources. We can play in location. We can play in a population, tourism. But I always say to people, when I get guests coming here and they see me, the one thing that Uganda, everybody talks about Uganda, is water. $165 lakes or water bodies, 37,000 square kilometers of water. The war in the Middle East is being fought about water. The war in Russia is about water. And here we are with the water which we don't even know what to do with. And we're sitting here with the young people who says we're unemployed. Second strategic advantage, young people. 78% of the population under 30. Europe is struggling with old people. Here we are struggling with young people who sometimes behave like old people. How do we come up and say, water, water, water? What can you do with the water? You can grow things. You can export it. If you see all the exports that we're selling there, we're importing rice, yet we've got water. We're importing corn, yet we've got water. So we're asking about entrepreneurship. It's about having a strategic intent and a strategic capability. If you combine a strategic intent and a strategic capability, you create an opportunity and you create an entrepreneur. So when you come up and say, what can we do? What is your strategic intent? And it's not, don't look for small things. Look for big things that can move the world. Why can't you be the biggest rice producer in Uganda? The opportunities are there. Now, you might say, like Sylvia, I'm paid by DFCU. I have to sing their song. What can DFCU do for you? And we sincerely believe in this. The first thing is that for us, is we have an enterprise development function in the bank, which is run through our foundation, or we call it Agribusiness Development Center. Organize yourselves in groups who are willing to come and train you on business skills, because that's the first thing you need. I've got a business plan, I'm willing to do, come and see us. 2, we'll give you business advice or a mentorship. We're willing to do that. We hire graduate trainees in DFCU. We hire interns in DFCU. So we are available. 3, we've got women in business. So if you're a woman and a lady here, you have opportunity to have access to support from us. We give you business advisory, and we've got women in business, and we're here to support you. We've partnered with PSFU here. We talked about grow funding. Yes, there's short of money at the moment, but we have got a facility that allows you as a woman to get money at 10%. We've partnered with my sister here, Sylvia, to do women in technology. I think she forgot to mention that. And yes, and we're supporting young women to do technology, to put cable, fiber, and connect across the country. We'll give you the money, they will support you and train you to do it. Come and talk to us. The opportunities are there. 3, we support circles and investment clubs. Form a club and come and talk to us. 4, you have all these CEOs here. They are here to provide networking for you. Create networks, build networks, and we provide those platforms for you to network and communicate and share. PSFU Nextgen is a platform for you to network. And we are all members. You heard about 350 organizations in the private sector are members of PSFU. Join the platform. You care to make that. You're getting the privilege of meeting the CEO of MTN for free here. Where else are you going to meet her? Where? The CEO of PSFU for free. Leaders like my sister here, Sarah Humphrey. Where are you going to meet them for free? You're going to get a whole lot of other leaders later on coming here. Whether it's the chairman of MTN, the chairman of Pepsi, they're all coming here to meet you. Use that. You get that. Prepare right now your 5-minute speech. As Sylvia walks out here, have your 4-minute speech ready. By the time she walks from here to the door, you've done your pitch. Are you getting me? Do you have a 4-minute? How many have got a 4-minute speech? 5, DFC will support you with banking. So we do have youth propositions and we can support you. Now, in closing, just a couple of points that I want you to remember. 1, a cat that dreams of becoming a lion must lose its appetite for rats. Please stop thinking small. Lose this appetite for small things. I want you to think big things. Are you getting me? You getting me? 2, a man that goes hunting and comes back with a goat is a thief. Please do not steal. We're tired of young people who are thieves. 3, if you marry a monkey for his money, the man will get finished, but the monkey will remain. keep good company. Because the quality of person you become, and I think Sylvia made the same comment, the quality of company or person you become is a function of the people you spend your time around. Now, if you want to become big and grow big, spend time with big people. If you want to become small and remain small, spend time with small people. But a monkey will not change because it has made money. Please. I'm done. So those are my concluding remarks. I just want us to be ready and to say we can do this. Now, how many of us were in Northcote Hall in Makerere? Northcote. Northcote, come to the front. Northcote, come on guys, on Sibirwa as they call it now. Northcote. I thought you were energetic. You know you might get money. Come. Now, anyone else? Great. You know the Northcote Chande? Huh? So he's going to lead us.
This is the youngest.
This is the youngest. So he's going to lead us. So we're going to do the Northcote chant just to give us energy. I see a lot of us. Can we all stand up? Now, in DFCU, we talk about being fired up and we're ready to go. You get what I'm saying? Now, by the end of this today, I want all of us to feel that I'm fired up and I'm really ready to go. When you leave this place, you are really fired up. This came from Barack Obama's campaign in 2008. You know that about that, eh? So we're going to say, are you fired up? And you're going to say, I'm ready to what? To go. Fired up and ready to go, isn't it? Then, at the end of the day, we then go, rah, 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 Northcote, eh? You get it? Great. Right. So, are we ready? Are you fired up? Ready to go. Come on, guys. Young people, I'm not hearing you. Are you fired up? Ready to go. Are you fired up? Ready to go. Now, then what? Rah, rah. Now you go.
Run!
Another round of applause for Mr. Charles Mudiwa, CEO of DFCU Bank. And as you have seen, he has laid out all these opportunities for you. So you have no excuse, no excuse. Those who are looking for jobs, their jobs were right there, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Mudiwa. Thank you for sponsoring this event. Thank you for your commitment to enterprise growth in Uganda. We are truly grateful. Before we proceed, I would like to invite you back, Mr. Charles Mudiwa, along with our chairman, Mr. Humphrey Nzei, and Ms. Sylvia Molinge. Yes, and actually, even before that, I want to take a moment to recognize our board director, Mr. Agre Ashaba, who represents the energy, petrol, mining, oil and gas sector, and who also chaired the organization of this event. So please, thunderous hand clap for his spirit, his motivation of the team and leadership. Yes, so we are now going to recognize the speakers we just had here, and I'll request our chairman, Mr. Humphrey Nzei, to join us on the stage, our vice chair, along with Ms. Sylvia Molinge and Mr. Charles Mudiwa. Rachel, We shall also have some photos. Watch your step. MTN Uganda, a key sponsor for our event today. Thank you so much, Ms. Molinge and the team at MTN. And to DFCU Bank as well. Thank you so much, Mr. Mudiwa, for your continuous support to the private sector, especially to growing businesses. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for them.
Thank you so much, Cecilia, and to, of course, our key sponsors. We're looking forward to, the partnership next year. As Sylvia rightly said, the conversation starts now. So the team, we know to start the conversation now. Okay. I'm going to have to ask, because the next conversation is our panel, our first panel for the day. I'm going to ask them to walk with me because I've noticed the stairs are those of love. We have to hold each other. So if my panel can come up and we'll work together, and then I'll do the honors of introducing each of them once we've sat up. Even before you get to know them, I already know you know some of them. Round of applause as they get the courage to come and share about their great businesses, great ideas, and the things that they've gone through, what you can learn from the years they've done business, the categories of businesses they're in. I survived. I made it. Yes. I actually have a very, very interesting panel. I'm excited for you to get to know them. Some of them you've seen, their profiles, their businesses, but today you're going to get to know them a little bit better. It's free sitting, so you either avoid each other or sit with each other. It's any way you can. Oh, great balance. Okay. Just to check if the room is still with us, and we have lost our appetite for rats. Good morning, everyone. Ratata, yeah, we're here. So, again, if you're just joining in, I see the room crowded in a bit, which is good. We're filling in. I'm Flavia Tumsime. If you're not here earlier, I'll be one of your hosts, but for this particular session, I'll be moderating the panel. We're here for the whole day to learn, to immerse, and hopefully at the end of it all, at least we're either rice growers or at some point business owners. We will figure out what to do at the end of today. My panel today, let me ask, who do you know on this panel? Do you know anyone on this panel? First of all, that side was so quiet. When did you arrive? The whole morning we had engagements. That side was quiet. Just blurt it out. Who do you know on the panel? Patrick. Who's Patrick here? Okay. Who else? Lucy. You can see the age, huh? Who else do you know? I'm not part of the panel. Let's be governed. So, I'm going to, I think it will not be in any, let me just take the order that they've actually decided to sit in. Does anybody know this gentleman here? Yes. So, what business do you know this gentleman for? Safe Border. He's also a rice grower. So they were talking about rice growers and he's right here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ricky Rapper Johnson. Before I give you his profile, a round of applause. Ricky is joining us this morning to have a conversation. He's those people they term a visionary. You get an idea. I can actually shout, so if you switch off the microphones, I'll amplify. Check. Check mic. We're here. So yes, I was saying Ricky is a visionary. You are correct. He is one of the co-founders of Safe Border. How many have used Safe Border? How many are still using Safe Border? The hands didn't go down, they increased. You know that Safe Border has something else? Safe what? Ricky, you're in the right room. Yes, and what you'd call him is not just a visionary, but an entrepreneur, someone who's got an eye for business and an eye for scaling. Because we want to hear Safe Border is in not just a business, but also a business on the innovation side of things. And in the room before you walked in this morning, a lot of people were talking about, innovation, development. I have an idea. I scaled an idea. So also what the challenges are, especially in a country like Uganda, where the internet penetration is still very low and things like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Rapper Johnson, we look forward to hearing from you. And I'm going to skip one person and introduce the men first. It's gentlemen first, isn't it? For today, since the women are more than the men, we'll give them a chance to also shine. That is indeed, as someone pointed out, Patrick Mbonye. Patrick is the CEO of Q Sourcing Surftech, and he's passionate about driving impactful change. And his business is really about the ecosystem, supporting systems that is in human capital management, and the company or the group is in how many years, Patrick? 18 years. And we all said in this room, nobody has, I think there were like 2 or 3 people who had a business that is even 10 years plus. So we have a lot to learn from you. And, you know, you've over 35 years of experience in financial services, real estate, agribusiness, logistics, and so much more. So diverse experience and in many categories. Look forward to learning from you, Patrick Mbonye, for this conversation. And then I'm going to introduce to you, yes, I will make her last, but it's not intentional. I have Gloria Katsime, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you this morning had coffee? Who drank coffee? Apart from Stephen, because I feel like Stephen lives on coffee. Yes, Gloria is the CEO of Endiro Coffee. Who has heard about it? The excitement has now. This is a good case of when your business goes before you. So the brand has literally walked before Gloria. So we look forward to hearing from you. Apparently her motivation is to see the lives of young people transformed. That's exciting. We look forward to hearing from you. Gloria, ladies and gentlemen. And my last speaker, I wasn't going to read because I know her, but I'm especially excited to have her on this panel because, yes, of course, she represents the young people in this room, but also she's a brand. It's hard for young people to be told, go into business, when they feel they are the business. They are the talent. It's in their mind they can do it, and they have no idea how to make that work. But luckily, we're in a world where that's possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Lucy Smize, or Lucy Bunyanyezi. Yes, she's multifaceted. She's a content creator, a marketing consultant, an entrepreneur, and she's all-round talent. So what she does for you is to transform different, she's in tourism, she gives you information on many other things as she creates content, but it's to bring it to life. Something that was so ordinary, a product or a service, and she brings it to life. So how that has become a business, which I know a lot of you will be very interested to know. So Lucy Bunyanyezi, some of you might be hearing her government name for the first time. You know her as Lucy Smize. So I'm going to get to know this panel, but as long as you're here, you're also going to get to know them. I thought the first question would be, since the entire panel is about starting and growing a business, we want to know how they started. How they started. So, Ricky, we kind of know the story, but I want you to give us the version that people in this room will get to know and brag about. Where did we start?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Mulimutia. My name is Ricky Rapper Thompson. For all the years, I've always had issues with my name. In some places, they call me Papa. Now I have a new baptism. I am Johnson.
I know.
Yeah, just need to do an edit. A little bit about my story. I just want to say this probably. When Lucy was introduced last, I felt like, okay, now this is more next gen than some of us.
Exactly.
But we also started when we were quite young. I think when we started Surfboard, I was 27 years. It's been 10 years, so you definitely know I am the next gen.
Yes.
A little bit about me, and in the shortest summary is that I'm one of those young people who boarded the bus, and I found my way to Kampala with almost no relative, no friend, and started my hustle. Just like most of us from the north makes very good security officers. I was one of those with a company called Security Plus, Uganda Limited. I also worked with Sex Security. I also worked with the Kamwesi Hostel, the faster Kamwesi Hostel in Wandegea, not the one in Moves. Most people know the one in Moves, but
Yeah.
Kamwesi started from Wandegea. That's where I was in the year 2009. After that, I found my way into the border industry as a rider. Luckily, I got a border, found my way into the industry as a rider. We call ourselves border drivers because we get the same permit anyway. But I found myself as a rider in I started official around 2011. 2012, I became innovative. I started showing people Kampala when I was a visitor in Kampala in the year 2007. I started what they call the Kampala border city tours. That's the time I actually met Steven. He became very proud of me. And most of the tourism players, actually, most of the players in the tourism industry took that up. I think that is now part of the itinerary. Most of the players are now doing it, but we were the key innovators. I started showing people Kampala key highlights, the Baha'i Temple. You get a chance to see Kampala at 360 degrees when you go to the Gaddafi Mosque. I took people to the man-made lake, the one for the Kabaka, and I told them my story. I'm not going to repeat those stories. We did fishing in that lake. Actually, there's some bit of small fish in that lake. Took people to Wino Market. That trip was very good. You would pay me around $30 per person. Reach a time when I would have more than 10, 15, 20 people on a trip. And they would all pay me $30, and I would pay my riders $30,000 for that trip. I collect the rest. This is what business is about.
Yes.
It worked out well, and along the way, I lost a friend to a boat accident. Just even before losing a friend to a boat accident, I've seen so much in the industry. A very good friend of mine bought a new bike. A customer took him at around 9 a.m. to Nambole. He never came back. He was killed because of riding a nice motorcycle. These are stories people never talk about. Friends in the industry died just because of poor health, not wearing jackets. A lot of other people that I knew witnessed so many accidents where somebody falls, you find a nice looking person riding a border, that is the end of the story. Yeah. So after losing my own friend whom I was very closely with, I started off as an advocate of road safety, where I was just encouraging people to wear a helmet. And I will tell you this today. If you ride on a bike, even if it's a safe border or not, for me this doesn't now matter. Make sure you wear a helmet. If you do not want to wear the helmets that safe borders that the safe borders have, because you have all your complaint, my hair is this. I'm one of the guys with a decent hair in Kampala. Naye watu agala kwambala helmet yaffe kubanga si nyungi nnyo. Gula helmet yo. A decent helmet in Kampala is around between 100 to 150,000. You have a good helmet. A surgery for an head would cost you probably your entire life saving or your family land. Or your life. So this is if it is going to be possible anyway. And be aware that the people that can do that, they are a handful. I think they are less than 20 in the entire country. So it's a very difficult thing. And all of us are vulnerable. Even if you're riding with the most professional rider, it is important for you to wear a helmet. So I started up as an advocate of road safety, and a lot of people followed me up, and we turned it into a business. So from around June 2014, we sat together with my friends and formed what is now known as Safe Border. So from around 2014 up to today, we have been building the industry. We had grown massively. COVID hit us, dropped us back, but we are here still today.
Yeah.
As young entrepreneurs who are coming up, just know that the journey is not as exciting as you might see. So be ready to face the real world. And yeah, you know, every time you make a mistake, we have so many things going on in our own lives. We have so many things going on in our businesses. But the best thing that you do is to learn from it and probably click next and be a better person. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, and he said the business journey is not as exciting because you'll hear the years, you'll hear the amount of money that is being made, the strides, the scaling, and you think it's easy, but it's not as easy. But I think it's a good thing we have them here. I want to go to Lucy because, I mean, for example, your initiative walking around Kampala and all the other things. First of all, it's taken a while for content creators to be taken as a serious business, for you to even sit here and be considered part of a business panel. It's because the world has sort of seen that, oh, okay, wait, there's a whole industry of young people who are going into this. Where did the love start? I know you were going into film school and that was something that was a dream for you. How did you pivot into just content?
Okay, thank you. So like anyone who's tried to enter the creative space, I think it's not always been the easiest thing to convince even parents about. Is it a safe career choice? And that was pretty much my journey as well. Flavia just mentioned I always wanted to go to film school. Right from, I went to boarding school at 8 years old. I went to boarding school in Kenya. Don't worry, I was loved. But I genuinely think it's shaped a huge part of who I am today in terms of how independent I am and how I think. But I went to a school that supported the academics just as much as it supported the creative sector, the creative field. And I remember telling my mom that what I want to study is I want to go to film school. She looked at me and said, yeah. We'll navigate that when we get there. Fast forward, I went to university and I did social policy, politics, and sociology because that's what she thought I should do. But while I was at university, I applied to film school. And I remember her coming to my graduation and I said, yep, here's the degree and here's my acceptance letter into film school. I'm ready to go. She said, yeah, let's go back to Uganda and discuss that there. I come back to Uganda and I had so many family members, relatives telling me, you know, film school is something you can always do. It's a back, you know, you can always juggle it, but you have to have something concrete. You have to have a safety net. You basically have to be in a more traditional career. And I found myself one morning at 7:30 waiting for a job interview, feeling like I'd totally given in to the pressure. And then I heard about a film production that was coming up, and I think that's when I first met Flavia. I went and auditioned, and I got the part, and they were paying. And I went home and I told my mom, you know, so about the film school dream, you're not yet ready to accept that, but I've found a job, an acting role, and they're paying, and so I'm not going for another job interview. She looked at me and said, if you're going to put yourself on television here, you know, let's figure out how you can go to film school. But I said, no, I already signed a contract. I'm going to commit. And perhaps this will be a taste into the film industry that I'm craving and chasing. And so I did. And we worked on that project together with Flavia and a bunch of other talent here in Uganda. And it hit a few hurdles, I think, along the way. But importantly, we had a premiere. And I remember my mother coming to that premiere and being shocked because this was a production she didn't think was done in Uganda. She appreciated it. And she said, you know what, this looks like it's a serious thing. And eventually I did go to film school. And she said, you know what, let's start with doing a summer program. I went to New York to do a summer program. And after that, I applied for my conservatory program and I applied for a scholarship. And I got a 50% scholarship off. And my mother then realized, hold on, maybe you have a gift. It works. Maybe. So I did that. Stayed in New York for about 3 years, and my plan was to always come back home, contribute to the industry. But while at film school, I was doing acting for film, but I still had to learn how to direct. I had to learn how to screenwrite. I had to learn how to edit. And of course, at the time, it seems monotonous to have to learn all these skills that bring a production together. But I later found that it benefited me when I came home. When I came home and I started navigating the film industry again, I started creating content just from basic editing skills I learned. And being a foodie, I was that friend in my friendship group where they would say, Lucy, I'm going to eat. What should I order on the menu? I created Forking Around Kampala, which was a platform that was going to showcase where to eat, where to dine, where to, find food in Kampala. And at the time, the digital marketing space was not so big at the time. Influencer content creation was not huge. But within the first 4 restaurants I featured, I monetized. And I stopped and realized, now while the film industry is growing and this industry is also picking up, I started earning more from this industry. And that sort of led me into finding a way to still do visual storytelling through travel, through food, through lifestyle, but also celebrating the culture of Africa and Uganda. And that's how I've managed to navigate this space and going from not just being the face, but also now consulting through digital marketing and helping brands maneuver how to understand the power of social media marketing or digital marketing. And yeah, I hope that's a long-winded answer, I think. But
Thank you so much. She's talked about her passion and how important it is to skill around your passion. It's one thing to want to be at film school and to learn all those things, but equip yourself around it.
Yeah.
Don't just say, I'm just an actress. Edit, produce, learn the scripting and all of that. I'm guessing your story, Patrick, is obviously way different. You did not go to New York for film school. So a few years ago, what was the start for you getting into, human management and just, innovating around that?
Yeah, I didn't go to film school, though I tried drama.
You tried drama, okay.
Yes. So, as you mentioned in the intro, I have been involved in enterprise since I was 15 years old. This year I celebrated 50, so 35 years ago. Then I was looking for an extra penny because pocket money was very scarce. They would basically get you a tin box full of clothes and soap. And then you go and, they've paid school fees. There's food at school. What else do you want?
Yeah.
And the pocket money was always just in case. So I saved on my pocket money. And that was 1990, when I was in my S4. So built up, some savings. And that time, Uganda Waraji was only accessible to the elite.
Okay.
So I thought that I've seen many people drinking this drink, so I'm sure if I got my hands on some, I would sell it and get a profit.
I don't know if that's where we saw the story going, but I was a bit worried there.
Yes, so
Yes.
my mom had a shop, so I would always see that,
It was a fast-moving consumer goods.
yes, you sell some things and you get some money out of it. But, of course, it was illegal for me to do that. So using my money, I bought the first carton of Uganda Waraji and I headed off to the east, got onto those, not the borders with engines, but the cycling ones.
Yes.
And put my box on, tell the border rider to carry the box. I will cycle because I couldn't risk my goods. And so we went distributing to the hotels, and we're selling at double the price. So
Double?
yes, Uganda Waraji was difficult to get, so you had to pay premium. So the lesson for me there was doing business for the money.
Yes.
4 years later, I was now at university in 1994, and again I heard about the opportunity of there was no food in Kigali. Kigali, Rwanda, because the war had just ended.
Yes.
And the only food that was there was WFP, World Food Program, and I was like, there's this UHT. It's long-lasting. Yes, the milk. Yeah. I don't think many know it. Yeah, the yellow little box.
Yes.
So again, from my savings, carried the first carton, and I would always make sure I did a quick turnaround. Load the goods, go, distribute it, get the money, come back, and be ready. Sleeping was on the bus.
Okay.
So then I built. But I hit a wall, and when I mean hit a wall, death to the business. I built up so much capital that I was able to load a small pickup truck, headed to Rwanda. At the border, there is 3 trailers loaded with UHT.
Ah.
I'm like, I don't remember seeing as much market. So one of us has to hit the market first.
Yes. Yes.
So I did all...
And you're not the big player at that time, obviously.
Absolutely not a big player.
Yes.
So I made sure I got this little pickup of mine past the border and asked the revenue guys that you need to check those guys. Because what they're bringing in, you know, is it only milk? And then as I left them answering that question, I raced to Kigali. But lo and behold, the truck phoned me. And that ended my business.
Oh.
It ended it so badly that I literally had to give away the remaining bits of milk because I remember my policy was double the price.
Yes, so you're more expensive.
I was so much more expensive. I was so inexperienced. I came back and focused on books. Because all my savings, I had to run away from the pickup guy. But
so you didn't pay him?
he remained with some milk.
There may be a lesson on integrity later.
He remained with milk, so I didn't leave him idle. But why do I tell this story? So I came back, I was studying economics at campus. I finished the course. I then was fortunate to get a scholarship. Did econometrics, which is basically economic statistics, and got into the data space. This was way back. So I liked mathematics, and I started working for a UN development program. Because of my economics background, I always remembered the 4 Ps, you know, people, place, product, and price. The price,
Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Let's dig into it. In the top stories tonight,